I? Yes. Yes! Up here! Are you going to help me down? That is something I'd be happy to share with you. Once I am no longer hanging upside down like an animal. No offense to bats, sloths, and monkeys, of course. It's quite hard for me to remember. Must be all the blood flowing down to the top of my head. On account of me, you know, hanging upside down. Wonderful, wonderful. Simply untangle my foot, and I shall gracefully drop to the floor below. Just let me count down first. On 1, 3, 2, 1. No! As far as holidays go, that was not to my liking. I don't see myself hanging from another sign anytime soon. A pleasure to meet you. I am Arthur Mountbatten. And what do I call my one and only savior? The Wayfarer. Quite the exquisite name. But I am not in a position to judge. Now, I assume you must be curious as to why you found me in such a quaint predicament as this one. You see, I am a tithe collector for the government in Westminster. It is a title and a position that was foisted upon me against my will. I was tasked with telling the Roundels that their tax had been retroactively increased by 5%, and that they were to promptly pay me the difference. Unfortunately, my visible distaste for the work and my repeated pleas for empathy didn't stop the Roundels from stringing me up on their side. I hold no grudges. Besides, in the grand book of life, this little trick is nothing more than a passing moment. Indeed, I do not have time for revenge. If anything, I believe that this encounter is a sign that I should leave behind all this talk of taxes and accompany you through the wastes. What do you say? We could be quite the pair. And face the disgrace of further failure? Please. I have no interest in discovering what lies at the bottom of this particular barrel. I'm quite skilled at data entry, archiving, organizing. Oh, you mean what can I do in terms of defending myself? Well, I do have my trusty Webley. It has been in the family for decades, never missed. Of course, I rarely fire it. Our world is filled with wonders and terrors. It helps to have someone who can help you properly react to them. I'd rather avoid another go at the Roundels, if possible. God knows what other things they'd hang me by. Capital. Ah, but I see that you already have a companion. Pardon me, but I have no desire to fight for your attention. If you ever find yourself in need of an additional, I'll be here. Judging by the look in your eyes, it seems like you want us to depart. Finally. Onwards and forwards. How much you confuse me. You do, because your awareness of it only compounds my initial confusion. You stumbled onto a ghoul hanging off a sign pleading for help, and you actually helped him. That sort of gratitude isn't exactly commonplace in today's society, especially for a complete stranger. That's the source of my confusion. Why did you do it? You did? Oh, I'm flattered. I truly am. And if I was a few hundred years younger, who knows? But I'm not exactly in a position to engage with that kind of thinking, so it might be best if you were to shelve it, for your own good. Still, that doesn't solve my confusion. You don't really know me, my past. I might be a monster. On the inside, that is. Let me rectify that, please. I was born before the bombs fell. My father and mother were middle class, a worker and a housewife. Unexceptional. I was doomed to follow in their footsteps until I chose to go to university. And after that, I joined the government as a data entry clerk at the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. It's part of the reason why I survived. I was working late at the office when it all happened. Had I gone home, I'd have certainly been reduced to ash. And that's it. That's Arthur Mountbatten. Now, we're no longer strangers. All is right within the world. Of course. Thank you for listening. But don't make a huge fuss out of it. I don't have time for that. I just can't stop thinking about what I told you. Or rather, what I didn't tell you. What I chose to obfuscate. My story ends with me as a common data entry clerk, yet you met me as a disgraced taxman. I never connected the dots. Never told you the truth. Lying by omission is a crime, you know, and you have become a friend to me. I am not in the custom of lying to my friends, and I don't intend to start now. I appreciate your tenderness. Allow me to welcome you in, then. As you might guess, my position as a data entry clerk and as a living remnant of London's former glory earned me some luxuries. I had a vehicle. I had a house. I was on my way to earning a respectable title, maybe even a marble bust somewhere within the offices. Until one day when my boss, a plump fellow by the name of Atkins, decided to humiliate me in front of the entire office. I stood my ground, first with my words, and then with my fist. You can see where this story is going? I was immediately fired. 157 years of faithful service come to an abrupt end. After that, my former boss sued me for grievous bodily harm, claimed I had poisoned him with radiation as well. No solicitor would help me. I later found out the reason. The magistrate assigned to my case was my boss's brother. The papers declared it the fastest decision in British judicial history. The magistrate awarded his brother damages in the millions, and since I couldn't come up with the funds, all my assets were promptly seized. None would hire me for fear of both my race and reputation. I had to choose between collecting taxes or homelessness. I made the choice. And now the truth can finally breathe. I only hope our friendship can survive it. Heavens, no. I don't want that. I mean, you could probably get away with it. No. I am an English data entry clerk, and it is not in our code to go around requesting targeted assassinations. Then again, no one would mind it if I... No. No. I'm sorry, my friend, but I must resist your temptation. I told you, you are my friend, and I am not in the custom of lying to friends. It doesn't matter. What matters is that I made my choice, and I've been suffering the consequences ever since. Thank you for saying that. Truly, it means the world and more to me. I can only hope we can continue to journey together. Huzzah! Let us soldier on.
People have a negative...
What of it? My God, you're amazing. Thank you so much for this. With that done, we move on to the next item on my list. This one requires some explanation. A long time ago, when I was starting my job as a data entry clerk, I sold a family locket handed down to me by my mother. I wrote down the name of the man whom I sold it to because I knew I wanted to buy it back the instant I was financially stable. That's what we're going to do. Buy back my family locket. The man's name was Drood.
Come on down to Drood's Dudes and Doodads. How may I help you? Sure I do. Stuck-up ghost fella sold me his family locket. Why? You interested in it? Pretty unique. Gonna cost you a lot of dosh. 2,500 tickets, I suppose. Is that so, eh? Tugs at my heartstrings, it does. Price stays the same. 2,500 tickets. That's how much either you or that ghoul are gonna have to pay me. Sorry, don't make the rules, you know. I bet. You better have 2,500 tickets when you do.
You look rather dashing today. What of it? Yes, that's it. That's my mother's locket. It looks exactly the same as the day I sold it. Thank you, my friend. If we were to stop right here and forget the rest of my list, I'd still be eternally grateful for what you've done. Now, for the next item on my list. I always fancied myself a bit of a philanthropist. Giving back is perhaps one of the most important things a man can do with their time on Earth. And ever since I heard about the Tommy expansion in Brickton, in the papers, I knew there was one thing I wanted to do. I want to build a water well for the people of Brickton, as a Westminster resident, I feel partially responsible for the contamination in the area. I have an old workmate named Graham who went to go live there. He might be able to help us with this matter. We should find him. And of course, it isn't real philanthropy if I don't put some tickets forward, so here, most of my remaining finances.
If I see one...
As I live and breathe Arthur Mountbatten, and I can see you've brought a friend with you. I am Graham Parker. A pleasure to meet you. What brings you two to this little side of paradise? Ah, I see. So it's finally happened. Arthur has told me quite a lot about his to-do list, and this, well, in particular. But I'm afraid it won't be as easy as he made it seem. You see, money alone won't save the world. The tickets can cover the labor, but the people of Brickton don't have access to the kinds of materials necessary to build a permanent water well. With a small investment of 250 tickets, I can build a temporary well. It won't be perfect, hell, it won't even be that good, but it will help. If you get me 500 tickets, I'll be able to build a better temporary well. It'll help more people, but again, it'll be temporary, not made to last, you see. For us to truly help Brickton, we'd need someone to go to the nearby abandoned construction site and collect a few materials for us. Someone like, well, you and Arthur. Stay safe. Friend of Arthur's is a friend of Brickton. Yes? Fantastic work! This is outstanding. No, this is revolutionary. You've single-handedly changed the game. Tell Arthur that the Mountbatten well will be built here in Brickton, and that he has found his perfect philanthropic match in you.
Let's put our heads together on this one. What of it? I know, and you did such a formidable job. That well isn't just a symbol of hope, my friend. It's an enduring monument to our partnership, and what happens when great minds work together. Although the well bears my name, equal credit belongs to you. Now, it's time for the last item on my list. And this one is perhaps the most difficult to bear with. I need you to help me find my parents' burial place. I don't remember where it is anymore. I don't remember if I ever knew. But not a day goes by where I don't ponder about it, especially as I have begun to forget almost everything I knew about them. We should start with the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. Perhaps they'll have a clue there. Or perhaps I should find a new way to say goodbye. Do keep in mind, we might dabble in some trespassing. It'd be wise to keep our wits about us. Let me take a look at it. Hackney. Yes. Yes, it rings a bell. A faint one, but a bell nonetheless.
I do hope Father...
Perhaps they have a records room we can peruse. Ever since I met you, I have seen you do so many wondrous things. Enough for me to blindly put my faith in you. But before I do this, before I abandon my quest and settle for an emotional goodbye, I must ask, are you sure they cannot be found? I know you're speaking the truth, but a part of me refuses to accept it. Perhaps I should lay that part to rest as well. All right. Give me one moment. Mother, Father, can you hear me? I hope you can. I'm sorry I couldn't find you. My brain, it's... never mind. Don't worry about me. I have friends, proper friends, the likes of which I should have been searching for all my life, instead of working. I'm sorry I don't remember what you looked like. I'm sorry I don't remember your names. I'm sorry for so much. But most of all, I'm sorry that one day I'll forget you. So I hope this will suffice. Until then, love. From your Arthur. Hopefully they could hear me, wherever they are. That means a lot to me. That was it. The last item on the list. It's all finished. But there is one last thing I want to do with you. Come and watch the sun set with me. I'll tell you why once we're there. Here we are. Our final stop in this little farewell tour. Except I'm not saying goodbye, but rather hello to a new day. How do you feel now that we've finished my little to-do list? Grateful, satisfied, and so much more. There's so much to see and to talk about as well. The reason I brought you here was to thank you. Think about everything you've done for me. You went through God knows what to obtain a rare bottle of Sipperson's gin. You returned my family locket to its rightful owner. But after, you made your way through hell to build a permanent well for the people of Brickton, subsequently providing me a haphazard closure in the form of a random cemetery. All things considered, you didn't just accomplish my to-do list. You showed me the value of your partnership every step of the way. And while there were some things we could have done better, I couldn't have asked for a better partner to do them with. Please accept my trusty Webley pistol and my final Westminster salary, which I've been saving for the purposes of gifting it to you. I know it's not much, but then again, you didn't do much, so fair's fair. I know how hard life can be, and I appreciate what you have done. After all, you've given me some beautiful memories. After all, that's what we are. Memories. So let's make some great ones. Together. Keep your mitts away from my head, thank you. My friend, I think I found the answer. I don't know. That's it. That's the answer. I don't know what to do with my life. I have no list, no employment. But I do have something better. You. My time with you has been some of the best days of my life. And the only regret I still hold within my heart is that I didn't leave Westminster any sooner. Being with you has given me a new outlook on life. I may not know what I'm going to do with it, but for the first time ever, I can't wait to find out. The honor is mine.